I'm a 28-year-old woman, and I've always thought of my family as close-knit, maybe even more than most. I've got parents who've been together for decades and a younger brother, who I grew up with as my best friend. Being that close to them, it never crossed my mind that planning my wedding with my fiancé would go the way it did. When I got engaged to my boyfriend of 5 years, my family was just as excited as I was. My fiancé and I wanted a small, intimate ceremony, just close family and a handful of friends. Nothing big. We both liked the idea of a wedding that felt more personal and less of a grand event. My mom, though, had other ideas. From the moment we started discussing the wedding, she was completely involved, almost as if it was her wedding to plan, not mine. I figured it was just her way of showing support. After all, she'd always been very involved in my life events, and while she could be a bit overbearing, I never saw it as a problem. Early on, she suggested that we have a family-only rehearsal dinner. It'll make things more special, she said. Since my fiancé and I were already planning a small wedding, I thought a close family rehearsal could be nice. I agreed, not seeing the full picture. I chalked it up to my mom wanting to keep things intimate. But things started shifting. Out of nowhere, Mom brought up adding some of her friends to the wedding guest list. I didn't even know half of these people, but she kept saying they were practically family and had seen me grow up. I was a bit uncomfortable since it was supposed to be a small gathering, but she pressed on, listing reasons why each of them should be there. To her, they were part of the family circle, but I barely remembered some of these people. When I tried to bring up the budget, things got even stranger. Originally, my fiancé and I had set a budget that we felt comfortable with, but my mom kept suggesting adjustments. She'd find ways to squeeze in extras she wanted, like a specific florist or a pricier catering service. It became less about what we wanted and more about what she envisioned. The budget I'd set up was slowly expanding, with her justifying it as a once-in-a-lifetime event. Then the topic of family traditions started coming up, almost daily. My fiancé and I aren't exactly traditional, so we planned the ceremony to reflect our style. But my mom kept pushing for certain rituals, most of which didn't resonate with either of us. It's just how we've always done it, she'd say, implying that not including these traditions would be disrespectful. I started to feel like the wedding was morphing into something I hardly recognized. The pressure only grew when she brought up a new venue she'd found. We'd already settled on a charming little spot, simple and perfect for us, but my mom was insistent about this other place. It was larger, grander, and felt more like something for a big, extravagant event. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, she said again, as if that alone made it worth abandoning everything we'd planned. I didn't want to upset her, so I reluctantly agreed, feeling cornered. When it came to choosing bridesmaids, things got awkward with my friends too. My mom started questioning my choices, suggesting her own picks based on who she thought would look best in photos or who was closest to the family. She wanted to swap out my friends for distant relatives or family friends she liked better. It wasn't just about appearances either. She genuinely seemed to want her circle involved in every aspect, pushing my friends to the sidelines. Then came the invitations. I had my own idea of what they should look like and wanted to handle the guest list with my fiancé, but my mom insisted on taking over the invitations, saying she'd make sure everyone felt welcomed. I was uncomfortable with the idea, but again, I let her handle it, thinking it would make things easier. In hindsight, this was a mistake. At the family-only rehearsal dinner, things went downhill quickly. I was already a bit on edge with all the changes, but I figured a nice evening with my family would help ease the tension. Instead, my mom pulled me aside and went down a list of everything she thought needed fixing. My dress, the seating arrangement, the vows. She had something to say about each detail. I could feel my